I have always liked Scizor-GX, it just never seemed to work out in any of the previous formats. But with rotation in a month, I decided to revisit it one last time. My original build of the deck focused on Island Challenge Amulet, Shrine of Punishment, and Rainbow Energy. That's because you want to activate the Danger Perception ability. If this Pokemon's HP is 100 or less, its attacks do 80 more damage to your opponent's active. So you have to get it down to 100 or less. Island Challenge Amulet cuts it by 100, Rainbow Energy does 10 damage, same with Shrine. That was the basic concept, and it did not go well. Scizor-GX isn't exactly a good attacker and it's not a good tank, so when you intentionally bring it down to 100 HP, you're just asking for trouble. So I decided to switch the list up almost entirely and go with Chaotic Swell and Sky Pillar instead of Shrine, and Frying Pan and Goggles instead of the Island Challenge Amulet. So instead of intentionally getting down to 100 HP, I'm looking to soak up a hit to get down to less than 100 HP, which, I mean, you should be able to survive a hit. You know, Zacian V does 230. If you have a Frying Pan on, you survive that. If you use Steel Wing, you take 30 less damage the next turn, so you survive that as well. But if you're looking at the attacks right here and you're underwhelmed, you're not alone. Steel Wing does 80 damage. That is horrible for a GX. And Crosscut GX, it only does 100 damage and it reaches only 200 if your opponent's active is an evolution. So yes, VMAXs are evolutions, but you're still only doing 200 damage? That is just so bad. And this is an evolution. So of course, I play Zacian V, the card that makes every other metal type look horrible. I'm just going to rely on this all the time. You know, after Forbidden Light, I've been focusing on decks that actually win. And yes, this deck does win, but it's not because of Scizor-GX, it's because of Zacian V. You know, half the time I'm just like, well, I wish I had more than one Zacian V, but this is a Scizor-GX deck. We're gonna see how it goes. I don't have high hopes, so wish me luck. Oh, and this is just a wonderful first game, isn't it? Okay, so I want to go second. Nope, okay. This is gonna end horribly. You never want that fire deck to get the welder off, and this is why I wanted to go second, is because Scyther has a great attack that lets you just fill up your bench with Scyther, but it's useless right now. So, okay. And look what's about to happen. I'm just going to focus on Zacian V the whole time, and I'm going to be like, well, why am I playing a Zacian V deck with a Scizor? Why am I playing Scizor and Zacian V? It's bad. Okay. I guess I just saucer, attach, and Intrepid Sword. And oh, and that's why I didn't want to saucer so early, is because I could get lots off Intrepid Sword. But you're just seeing it right now. I wish this was a Zacian V deck, not a Scizor deck. You know, I think it's pronounced Scizor, not Scizor, but it's just easier to say Scizor. And, you know, the Scyther's pretty good, you know, for a pre-evolution of a GX. Okay, they know I'm two-shot in here. You know, Twin Play, search your deck for up to Scyther, put them on your bench. That's great. You know, agility is hit or miss. Okay, that's bad. That's actually very bad. So I'm going to need my Frying Pans. I was thinking of switching it to a 3-1 Frying Pan Goggles. But if I ran into Dragapult, I'd be like, well, I wish this was a 3-1 Goggles Frying Pan. So, it's tough to say. And one good thing is that they have Mallow and Lana. I don't think they have much else. But if I'd gone second, this would be so much different. They wouldn't be able to Flare Starter. They wouldn't have been able to Flare Starter for 3. You know, they can just Flare Start my Zacian V. But they would need a Tool Scrapper if I get the Rod. Okay, so I want to save the Switch, but I don't know if I can do that. And I can't really do much else. I mean, I can get a Scizor-GX. Sure. I guess I'm just going to Dedenne the hand and use Scizor-GX. Sure, it's a Scizor-GX deck. You're going to see why it's not very good. I'm going to Energy Switch right up to it, and I'm going to have to Dedenne the hand. Alright, Dedenne, get me everything I need. Just 2 Frying Pan. That is nothing that I need. Okay. Well, if they try and high heat blast, I do survive. So hopefully they try and high heat blast and take the knockout and they don't realize what's about to happen. But I don't really have much else going on after this. So it's a little sketchy because I Dedenne into absolutely nothing. I play a high count of energy. Maybe I should cut down on the energy as well because Scizor only needs 2, but I'm still playing it like a Zacian V deck. So maybe that's my mistake. But, I mean, if you're playing a metal deck, you never want to run into a Reshizard deck. That's just never something you want to see. I mean, if they have a Vitality Band, they're getting the knockout. Okay, they didn't read the card. Perfect. I mean, I'm still going to lose, but... Okay. Don't really want to put the escape board on the Dedenne this early. And see, that's the whole point of the deck. You take a hit, and then you deal some damage back. And that's not the tool card I wanted to see. So they'll Flare Strike, or I mean, they can just Outrage. Because that'll do it. And then what they'll do is they're either going to Outrage the following turn or Flare Strike the following turn to knock out my Zacian V, and then I got nothing. So this is a prime example of how Scizor-GX has just been power creeped out of the format. You know, yes, maybe I should play Great Potion or Mallow and Lana, but if you're playing a metal deck, why aren't you just playing Zacian V? It's a basic that has more HP than a Stage 1 GX. I mean, come on. And the attack is even better. Okay. But this is just going to be game pretty much here. Oh, and they have research. Amazing. So I can go up and hit it for 230. If I can prevent them from getting Welder double fire next turn, maybe that'll be helpful. It's just, do I send up the... There's greens. Well, it's not a Welder. So this might be... I was going to say, this might be the Reshiram and Charizard Lead the Battle deck, but that only had 2 Reshizards and this has 3, so they've obviously made some modifications. So what do they got? Probably going to go for the knockout with an Outrage. Yep. So if I just send Zacian V up there right away, that is cool. I think I only play 1 Dedenne. Oh, there's a Marnie. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I will Quick Ball the Jirachi. I will go get a Scyther. Probably not a good idea to put the Lucario Melmetal down until I have a Frying Pan. And I'll attach to the Scyther, and again, I just wish I had another Zacian V. So I'll put the... Sure, put the Scyther down, Jirachi, and Brave Blade. So I can knock this thing out next turn. I just have to hope they don't get Welder, 2-Fire, or really anything going on. Because a Flare Strike is bad, of course. And a Great Catcher wins them the game, essentially. Well, no, not essentially. It wins them the game. Because they're knocking out Zacian V, they'll have 2 prizes left, and I got that Dedenne on the bench as a target. But they're going to need some energy to do that. They will need 3 energy to knock out Dedenne, because they'll just GX it. Oh, and they're setting up for next turn, so they'll go for probably Great Catcher Welder. So drawing 2 prizes, so I need to... I don't know how many Marnie I have left. I've only played 1, so hopefully this Jirachi gets me a Marnie. It would be perfect if next turn I got Marnie and Chaotic Swell, then I could prevent them from putting down Heat Factory, which would draw them cards. So I'm pretty much just hoping they don't get Welder the next turn. But even then, I'm not really doing a whole lot. It's, can they capture the Dedenne? Power Plant, Mallow, and Lana. Okay, that's an interesting choice. So the Power Plant... Oh, the Power Plant's going to shut down Scizor's ability. That's unfortunate. Why did they... Do they not think I'm knocking this thing out? That was a weird choice. So there's Goggles. I don't want the Goggles. Okay, so I can't remember if I play reset stamp, so the research probably isn't the smartest idea. I can go and get... And I don't need the goggles because I take 30 less damage, but I need the frying pan. So I think I just try and thin as many cards out of the deck as I possibly can. Sure. Do that, and yeah, I'll just get the... I do have to switch and an escape board, so maybe I should put the Jirachi down. But I needed that Marnie this turn and I didn't get it. There's a frying pan. Okay. Things are happening. So they just, as long as they don't got it, then I have a slight chance of winning. But I do have to go through a tag team, which is going to be unfortunate. And a tag team that can use Outrage, which is also unfortunate. What do you got? Who are you going to send up? Probably the Volcanion? Depending if they have it or not, that'll determine who they're sending up. And what's their welder count? They haven't even played a single... What? They haven't played a single welder this game? Oh yeah, because they got the energy in to play with Flare Starter. So yeah, they're totally going to win this one. All they need to do is basically just sit back and wait for me to put some damage on it. And they are going for it with the welder. Suspense time. What do you got? You got the welder? And another greens. Do they have to play welder? It's a fire deck there. Did they just like... I was going to say, did they prize all their welder? But they only have 2 prizes left. So this is just horrible luck for my opponent. I mean, I could... They can outrage. They can... Oh, they do have welder. So what was all that for? Okay, so my game plan now is going to be... I don't even know. Boss's orders on the other Reshizard? That doesn't seem good. Okay, I mean, I have energy, but I need this to be a Scizor. I can't Metal Saucer onto a Grass-type Pokemon, so I need to evolve it. Oh, and they just got it. You got the Great Catcher, and then Double Blaze. Okay. So they're just going to... Oh, interesting. So I can put the energy there. I think I have to Marnie. I'll switch. So I need to... I guess I just got a Marnie and hope. Needed an energy. Okay, those aren't great. I need something. Need the frying pan. Okay, well I can Great Catcher the other one and just hope they don't have a switch. But do I attack with this one or do I attack with the damaged one? I don't really think it matters, but they can outrage 30, 110. I don't really think it matters who I attack with because they're both kind of gonna go down. But I think it is Great Catcher, Lucario Melmetal, and the energy. And just sitting and hoping. Sure. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. Alright, his power plant is in play. Oh no. Okay. The power plant came back to bite me. I should have grabbed... Well, I couldn't have. I needed the Great Catcher. I needed the Chaotic Swell and the Great Catcher. So that was a tough Marnie, and they had the switch all along, so it didn't even matter. And this is why you don't play Scizor-GX. And I don't know... Okay, there we go. Well played. And they're gonna style on me. That's not very nice. Okay. We'll go to game 2, and I'll make sure it's not against the fire deck. Okay. I don't even... Metal is good against psychic types now, right? Would I like to go first? No? I don't really know what I'm playing against. Sure, I'll go first. It's not a fire deck. Okay, of course I'm mulligan. But I think because fairy types are gone, so metal types are only good against psychic types that were fairy types. And not a bad start. I would like to have more basics, but what are you going to do? Like Gardevoir VMAX, that's going to be weak to metal when it comes out. And that's just peachy. Okay. Well, that was a horrible turn one, and that is why you always go second even if you have an evolution deck, because you can't play a supporter. Alright, but they started Eldegoss V, so maybe they'll have a slow start as well. And, okay, if this is Obstagoon, that'd be pretty interesting, because I play the Goggles, and I play some other things, so I do have to keep track of what they... Oh yeah, so they have the Incense, definitely Obstagoon. I do have to worry about Sableye V, though, because I can't actually knock out a Sableye V, because I do 160. Theoretically, they could get the knockout on the Jirachi this turn. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, and they're actually going for it because they ditched it. Okay. So I don't want to see these cards again, but I'd like to draw an extra card. Okay, well, that is fun. I don't have an energy in the discard. I can't. Oh, that is rough. I mean, do I even want to put the Lucario Melmetal down? Probably not, right? I'll just go get a Scizor. I'll see if I get like a Quick Ball. A Quick Ball would be great. Thank you. So what I can do, or I can just not Quick Ball. You know, this is a Scizor deck. You're seeing some Scizors. We're running with Scizors today. Alright, I'm just going to get 2 of them, 2 Scyther. Let's do this. You know, with the hand I have, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it's a Scizor deck. We're playing an Obstagoon deck. Zacian V is useless except for its ability. Let's just go for it. And wow, they're really picking on that Jirachi. So I'm going to need my goggles real quick. Don't tell me they got... Okay, I was like, don't tell me they got double Goon, double Rare Candy. That would have been insane. Okay, so I really don't want to have to Dedenne... Wow, they're just ditching Obstagoons left and right. And they have the Galarian Wheezing, most likely. I mean, they could just have regular Wheezing, but I would assume it's Galarian Wheezing, which just shuts down my abilities, which wouldn't be fun. There's Scoop Up Net. They're going to bring up... Don't tell me they're bringing up the... Oh no. I think Jirachi's going down. All you need is one more. What do you got? And see you, Jirachi. Fun. It was fun knowing ya. That is just crazy. Turn 2 knockout on a Jirachi that they haven't even attacked. Maybe I should have grabbed that Zacian. Okay. Well, this is going really bad. Let's get a good top deck here. Oh, that's not great. So I can either wait or I can start doing something. And I think I'm just gonna have to start doing something. So unfortunately, Dedenne has to come into play. I'm gonna regret this mightily. What do we got? Energy, Frying Pan. I don't actually want Frying Pan. But I guess if I put it on the active, that should be okay. And I'll just research. Just need some scissors. I got one. Alright, so Steel Wing. Let's do this. I can knock it out next turn with Crosscut. But Crosscut, if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution, this attack does 100 more damage. So even then, you're still only doing 200 for 3 energy. This thing does 230 for 3 energy and it has more hit points. Ahaha, no black market for you. Okay, so they're going to start putting damage counters probably on the Scyther. Or they might just go for a Wheezing or something. but I don't care if they stop my ability. I don't know. The switches are going to be important. The cool thing is that Scizor-GX only has a 1 retreat cost, so that's good for if they decide to start poisoning me. And Obstruct doesn't matter. I'm an evolution, so this is actually a pretty good matchup. I think I have to go for it. I think I just have to crosscut and take the knockout, because Steel Wing does knock out an Obstagoon. So that's good. And I couldn't risk them doing something crazy with the Eldegoss and pulling it back up. So at this point, I'm just going to try and knock out basically 4 Obstagoon before they can take 5 prizes. And it'd be really good if I could find another Scizor to evolve this one. That's not great. The reason I didn't want to bench Dedenne is because if I just had 3 Scizor-GX on the field, they'd have to knock out all 3 of them to take game. But now that I have Dedenne and I don't have another Scizor, they can just knock out this guy, and Dedenne, and it's game. So their route to victory is so much easier because I don't have that just 3 Scizor-GX. So hopefully they don't have a way to... And there's Galarian Wheezing. The Dimmadome. Instead of leaving dropping, because it expels clean air. Well, that's fun. And I was going to say, I really hope they don't have a boss's orders on my Scyther. And wouldn't you know it, they have a boss's orders on my Scyther. Okay, so I really don't want to put the Zacian V down, but I think I might have to put the Zacian V down. And I had to ditch my Tool Scrapper, because of course I did. So, Steel Wing. I am 2-shotting just a Galarian Obstagoon with a GX with 3 energy. Okay. And this is where the switches are going to come in handy. And can I please find the Metal Goggles? That would make me so happy. There we go. So they're not going to be able to do very much to this one. But that Sable IV, if they get Sable IV, I am in huge trouble. And I know they're going to put it on the active because they're only doing 30 damage. So that's going to be pretty funny. They're going to have to take their time there. So I put the goggles there, do that. Steel Wing, that's a knockout, but that Sable IV, that is just going to be a killer. I was going to say they're probably better off just going with neutralizing gas, because they shut down my ability. I have to 2-shot this thing as well. And I'll have to, I don't have to switch. I can just retreat this one, but that's not great. It's just, if they get Sable IV, I lose. That's pretty much it. I can't one-shot a Sable IV. I would need a Zacian V, and I could do it. I'd have to just manually attach and then get both my Metal Saucers, but that is not going to be easy. So I don't know if it's 26 cards left in deck. That doesn't seem very possible. And don't go and get your Sable IV. Don't do it. Good. Maybe to make room for the Chinchino, they had to cut it. How are they just getting all these rare candies naturally? Yes, they've got the Chinchilla. Okay. So when I knock out the Wheezing, then that'll be good. So I don't think they have Sable IV. I think either they prized it or they had to cut it to make room for the Chinchino. And they're just building their deck to beat basic decks. And that is totally fine, so I can just bounce between these guys, just retreating. There's a bosses. That is unfortunate for this turn. It's going to be great for next turn. I can bosses this thing, but I think just getting rid of the Galarian Wheezing is going to be the good thing to do here. So I have 3 prizes left. They're doing 30 damage if I use Steel Wing. They got rid of an energy. I might have to just attack with the active Scizor and take the poison damage, which will be highly unfortunate, but I think that gives me the best chance to win because I'll take 4, 4, 4. So basically it'll be at 150 at the end of my next turn, or going into my turn, because they'll hit me for 30 with the Obsidian. So they'll both be at 150, and I have that Dedenne. Oh, and there goes my bosses. Okay, well that, I mean, it doesn't really change my game plan. My game plan was to hit the Galarian Weezing. And now that I think about it, the Zacian V probably shouldn't go down. Okay, I guess they're just going to try and ping the back one. Oh, that's going to be not great. Yes, they tried to hit the active. Haha. But this is still not good because if they put 30 damage on this one, I'm in huge trouble. Okay, so really wish I didn't have to get rid of the Tool Scrapper. I think at this point, my best course of action is retreating this one because this one has the goggles, so it can't get knocked out by the damage counters. So I have to attack with the back one, unfortunately, and just hope that the math works out for me. Because they could just knock this thing out. My thought process is that they can knock out the front Zacian V, or front Scizor-GX, with damage counters. You know, they'll put 3 here, and if they have Rare Candy Obsidian, which I don't think they do, they could just knock it out. And then I would have just had more damage on the front Scizor, but I think this is just the smarter decision. You know, if they knock out the Dedenne-GX for game, I'll tip my cap, but I mean, you're just seeing why I didn't want that Dedenne to be on the field. It's just such a liability at this point. But at least the back Scizor has less damage on it, so it'll last a bit longer. Negative side is that I need to probably put some energy back into my deck because they can trap this in the active if I don't get an energy. Okay. There's a quick ball. I think I just Cherish Ball. Get that. I mean, I have a lot of good stuff in my deck. I'm just not seeing it. Quick ball. Just to increase my chances of getting something I need. Okay, so worst case scenario, I might have to Energy Switch to the Dedenne. And that would be really bad. But hopefully they're just... Oh, they only have 1 card left in their deck. I didn't even notice that. That Chinchilla's been making do. What have they been... How have they gotten through their deck so fast? That's crazy. Okay, so... And yeah, so they had Rare Candy Obsidian, so that's insane. And they're just going to pick on Dedenne. But if they don't have a way to fill up their deck, they just lose. Okay. No, they lose. Unless their last card's like an Ordinary Rod or something. Okay. Oh, so it's going to put a card back. So if I top deck Marnie, I win. I hope they realize that. If I top deck Marnie, that's game over. And that's game over. Cool. Yep, and I'll Steel Wing for the knockout just because I want to. And yeah, the game pretty much went how I thought it would. It was definitely a little touch and go there at certain points, but I win via deck out, which is highly unexpected. Hey, Cosmetic Twitch back. Yeah, let's see. Did they have Sable IV? So to make room for Chinchino and Weezing, they had to cut the Sable IV. And they didn't have a Ditto. That's interesting. I would have put a Ditto in there. Very different arts for everything. Okay. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty consistent. If you just want to beat basic decks, this is pretty much how you do it. You just make an Obsidian deck. Nothing too crazy. Just build Obsidian, you beat basics. They weren't expecting to run into the Scizor-GX. Since I know the deck will begin to show its cracks if I go for game 3, I'm just going to end the video there. Scizor-GX, it took a big win against an Obsidian deck. It proved that, you know, Stage 1 GXs, Stage 1 Pokemon, they still have a place no matter how weak they are. And I mean, it was only taking 30 damage each turn. That is really good. So I'll sign off now. I'll put the list in the description as always. Please subscribe if you liked the video. And other than that, I'll see you next time with probably Lapras VMAX Electrode or this crazy Mewtwo Firebox deck I've been working on. I'll see you then.